Keith, you're a Christian. Do you believe in miracles?
I would like to answer that by telling you a little story that happened to me and let our viewers make up their own mind on that. I think it's something that's very individual, what people believe, and I think they should be able to make up their own mind. We had a puppy, a little black Cocker Spaniel. He was 12 weeks old. His name was Mr. Wilson. You can call him Willie, but that's all right. And I took him to the groomer and to have him get used to being bathed and cared for that way. When I went to pick him up, I took him out to the street and he was coughing up frothy red blood. So I took him back in. They called the vet immediately, and I drove up there, and the vet met us at the car. And she looked at me and said, "Your puppy has been badly injured." Now, nobody knows exactly what happened, but that was her comment. Well, as it was, all during the night, they put him in ICU immediately, of course. And as it was, all during the night, I kept getting phone calls saying that Willie was deteriorating and going downhill. As it happened, my buddy Carol and I both had to play for a church in Aurora Grande the next day. And we were guests there. We didn't know anybody. Nobody knew us. And so on the way to the church in the morning, we stopped at the ICU, went in, and Willie was laying in an oxygen tent, completely non-responsive. And his tongue was hanging out, and his respiration was very bad. Anyway, as we went ahead and played for the service, and as one of the head elders got up for the morning prayer, he started talking about a little black dog that was in ICU somewhere in the city that was fighting for his life. And I poked my wife and I said, they're talking about Willie. And of course, nobody knew us, and I knew nobody would know Willie either. But anyway, so the elder said, I think it would be well if we asked the entire congregation to get down on their knees and pray for Willie. There were about 600 members in the church, and they had a nice prayer for Willie. Anyway, at the end of the service, of course, we went up and identified ourselves and told them how that was our dog that they had prayed for. And I was questioning how they knew about Willie. And as it turned out, we were guests at the church, guest organist and pianist. And there was also a guest choir from another church that was there. And in that choir was the veterinarian who was taking care of Willie. And before the service, she was talking with the elder and told him about Willie. So anyway, we thanked him for the prayer, and we knew Willie was in very serious conditions. So we went back to the clinic, and the doctor came out and met us, and she was crying. And so I knew Willie had died, and I just didn't know, I just was going to accept it. She said, "I don't know exactly what's happened. I've never had anything like this happen before." But she said about an hour ago, Willie all of a sudden regained consciousness, and his respiration went back to normal. And he's sitting up, and he has a smile on his face. Now, I don't know how a dog has a smile on their face, but that was her comment. And so in my mind, I really felt it was a true answer to prayer. A lot of people would probably hear and say it's very much of a coincidence, and that would be something that I'd like each person to think through for themselves. And if any of our viewers would like to make comments on it, I would really enjoy hearing it. So that is the story of Mr. Wilson. You may call him Willie. He lived to be 15 and a half years old, never was sick again. So.